Today, I'm in Seoul, the capital of South Korea, to experience the amazing culture and cuisine they have on offer here, while I eat like the modern day Korean for 24 hours. Alright, I'm starting off with what many people call the most important meal of the day, but I'm swapping the soup and rice that you would find in an early 20th century household for a much more common coffee and salt bread. Life here is all about the hustle and bustle of city life, so grabbing a convenient snack on the way to work is much more common. Let's give it a go. Damn, it's sweet, it's salty. I was expecting it to be really dense, but it's actually hollow. It's got a really crispy bottom, and the salt that's running through it is like really interesting. It's kind of like a croissant, but just sort of a big tube. I really like that. I get why this is really common. That's really tasty. Ah, and coffee will always be the best way to start the day. Breakfast in South Korea so far? 9 out of 10. To gain a deeper understanding of Korea, I decided to immerse myself in its history. I spent the morning visiting ancient temples dressed in traditional hanbok. These loose-fit clothes were originally designed for horseback riding to suit the nomadic lifestyle, but over the years shifted to ceremonial wear using colours to represent status. I visited the Gyeongbokgung Palace, which for hundreds of years has stood as a symbol of Korean resilience through hardship and destruction. As I walked around the grounds, I took in the beauty of it all, but I still didn't quite understand how the diet came about. But before I could dig deeper, it was time for lunch. Alright, lunchtime. Another meal focused around convenience. In France, they take 2 hours. In Spain, it's the main meal of the day. But here in Korea, it's a quick 30-minute break from work. Just enough time to come down to your local 7-Eleven and grab a bowl of ramen. Did you know that South Korea is the #1 consumer of instant ramen in the world? Every year, the country goes through over 3.5 billion packs of the stuff. Convenience stores even have built-in cooking stations, so you can tear open a pack, cook it, and eat it right there on the spot. It makes sense. Ramen's cheap, quick, filling, and honestly, nothing beats it when you're hungry. Now, to me, this is the perfect system. You hop out of work, you go down to the store, and you get a freshly cooked bowl of ramen for like $1.50. And you just sit outside and you just enjoy it. And most places there'll be loads of other people just doing exactly the same thing, so it becomes quite a social thing. And it's absolutely perfect. It's the thing that it's one of the things from here that we need to implement back home. I'm still not the best at using chopsticks though. It might be slightly messy. They might think that it's polite to do the whole slurping thing here. But for me, lunch is a solid 10. I spent the afternoon in a prison museum about the history of Japanese colonialism in Korea and how they struggled and fought for years for independence. This period planted the seeds for modern day Korea, where efficiency, value for money, and working hard became paramount for the country's survival. It's this that teaches us more about the country's eating choices, like how ramen's incredibly cheap yet filling, and you can add almost anything to it to use up what you've got. Similarly to how pizza was invented in Italy. Now that I'd learned more about where the food choices come from, it was time for dinner. I'm ending the day the way many Koreans end the day, with the barbecue. Here, barbecue isn't just another meal. It's a social event, a chance to meet up with friends, a way to blow off steam after work. We've got a load of pork belly, so many sides that you can't even count. We can sit here, have some laughs and drink some soju. Pretty decent way to end the day. Gone day. Barbecue in Korea actually goes back centuries, but for most of history it was reserved for the rich. But as South Korea's economy took off in the 60s and 70s, barbecue exploded into everyday culture. Restaurants let people grill right at the table, turning eating into a social experience. Pork belly became the star because it was cheap, fatty, and perfect with soju. Nowadays, barbecue is as ingrained in Korean life as pizza is in New York. It's not just food, it's culture. So the Korean diet's pretty interesting. The overall structure, not too dissimilar to the UK, but a much bigger focus on efficiency. I've always absolutely loved Korean food. It's a big reason I decided to come here. But after eating like a Korean for a full day, I can honestly say that I love it. The salt bread for breakfast was delicious. The ramen for lunch, I think, is absolutely perfect. Such a great middle of the day meal. And then finishing the day with a Korean barbecue, outstanding. I don't know what half those sides were, but they were great. The pork belly, perfect. Dip it in the salt, roll it around in some of the sauces, stick it in some lettuce, scran away. What a way to eat. Fantastic way to see your friends, and a great way to blow off steam. I absolutely loved it. So I think overall, I'm going to give the Korean diet a 9 out of 10. I'll see you next week.